about the elephant in the room. We can talk about the Acolyte.
Well, I haven't seen it. Yeah, I don't mind. Actually,
Should we skip
go
on
for it, because when I was on the pier the other day, someone asked me a thing, and I thought I gave the right answer to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you might not like it.
Okay. Okay, so essentially what they did is this is 180 years before...
What was it? Acolyte?
Yeah, it's 80 years before The Phantom Menace. What they fucking did, they brought, Ki-Adi-Mundi,
Yeah.
the dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought him back. He's not supposed to be alive.
He got killed by Wookiees.
No. This is before all that. This is before all of this. This is before Qui-Gon Jinn. This is 80 years before. So they brought him in there, and there's this assassin who's the Acolyte. She's going around killing Jedi.
Why?
Okay, so in the beginning, there are these two witches. There's a witch coven, lesbian witches. They end up conceiving two children, two daughters, essentially the way Anakin was made.
How, if they're girls?
Through the Force. And, what Palpatine tried to do and they couldn't do. Anyways, so they do that. One is, she's good, and the other one is evil. And then the Jedi come because they somehow sense that these witches are creating children, or they have a Force-sensitive child or whatever. They come out of the blue. And they track
this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. They track them all across the galaxy. They say, hey, we heard you have children that are Force sensitive. And so something goes wrong. One of the kids wants to go with the Jedi. The other kid doesn't want to go with the Jedi. She wants to stay with the witches. So the evil kid says, I'm going to kill you if you leave, to her own sister. She ends up setting ablaze to the entire mountain. Everything goes to shit. The one kid leaves with the Jedi, and then they think the other sister's dead, but she's alive.
Yeah.
So the evil sister vows to destroy the Jedi for taking her sister away, and what she thinks is killing them as well. She goes on a bender. 16 years she trains with a Sith, a guy with a red lightsaber and all this shit. And she kills a couple Jedi Masters, and the Jedi find out about it.
They would know as soon as them two got killed. They'd sense it. Oh my God! Wow!
Apparently not. They find out that she's going around killing, that someone's killing Jedi Masters. Ki-Adi-Mundi is there, and he hears about it. Doesn't say shit, which already screws up the whole thing about him saying the Sith haven't returned for over a millennium. Yeah. So anyways, there's that. And then now the Jedi have tracked down the Sith Lord, essentially. He's like a Knight of Ren, which is like, I don't know, Disney's way, I don't know. And he's got a red lightsaber and he's killing Jedi. And he's got the Force, and he's evil, and he's pretty powerful. And so he had a lightsaber battle against 8 other Jedi.
Who? Her and
the Sith. Okay. Against 8 other Jedi that try to stop him. And then he dusts them all except for the one, and then they all kind of go their own ways. That's where we're at now.
I saw a little bit of the fighting.
Oh, did you?
Somebody sent me a little clip of it.
Yeah.
I tell you what I think.
I think it was the best thing since Disney.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think where they're going wrong with this fighting is, when I did it, I don't know that much about it, in truth. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff.
Right.
And I know how to make it look cool.
Yeah.
But since then they've been employing experts. An expert in Kung Fu, or expert in Wushu, or whatever it might be. They're an expert in. And so those people have trained that all of their lives. That's their, that's their thing. They love it.
Yeah.
And they won't deviate from that at all. And it shouldn't look that way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It should be, George's whole thing was it should just look familiar. It should be completely different but familiar.
Yeah.
You get stuck down a Kung Fu corridor,
yeah,
that's all you're going to get. Everybody knows that. We've seen that.
Right.
That's where they're getting it wrong. They're employing professionals.
They should just hire you.
They should hire amateurs like me. Yeah. I'm sure that's what it is, because if you don't, I don't care about how Kung Fu should look. I don't care. Yeah. And nor does most of the audience, 99% of them. Yeah. They want it to look good.
Yeah, no, the fight looked good.
Did it look good? I'm saying this like I haven't seen it. So
yeah, it wasn't bad.
But the thing I saw was this weird...
Yeah, there was lots of that.
It's junk. It's utter junk.
I mean, if you want to compare it to Episode 1 with what you did with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon and Maul, it's not even comparable. Okay. And they tried to say that we're trying to outdo that or make it as good as that. Well, it's why don't you just make it a good fight?
Go a different way with it. Yeah, exactly.
Why you got to compare it to something that's already timeless?
Get it to something where other people want to compare to it.
Right. Yeah. So
many times you go on movies and a director will show you a shot from another movie. Go, I want it to look like this. You go, fuck off. What you want is people just to look like your movie. So come up with an idea.
Right. Well, they had a cool idea with the cortosis. He was hitting lightsabers with his head, and it was shutting off the blade for 10 seconds. That was pretty interesting. It's from Legends. But yeah, you notice that with the tick, 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 tick. What is that?
It's a version of that fighting with fists that's like that. It's just junk. You know, it's utter junk. Why don't you say what you really think?
Okay.
I fucking hate it. You know, I hate that. I hate people swiping and people ducking. I know I did it a few times, but I really try and avoid that.
Yeah. Like, so when you focused on Anakin versus Obi-Wan, what were you incorporating?
There's an uncomfortableness about it, there should be, with personally between them.
Yeah.
And we do that by going too close. Sword fighting, you're there. Jedi fighting, you're in there. And it's really hard then to get your sword moving.
Right.
Yeah. But when you're doing it as a sword fight, know enough about sword fight to know, you know, how far away you should be.
Yeah.
It feels uncomfortable. But once you get into it, it's lovely.
It's funny you mentioned that because now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, all the fights in the prequels are very
Too far apart.
There's a lot where they're actually very close together and they're like locked.
Yeah. It also helps a great deal with close-ups, you know, with camera work.
How was that with Mace versus Sidious?
Well, it was the toughest day. You know, I mean, I'll tell you about it now because I don't care. And of course, we got him 5 weeks before to learn that fight. As I've always said, I can teach anybody at all. You know, 500-pound man.
Yeah.
Not Ian. It became apparent we gave it our best shot. Never going to work to the point where he would look good. You know,
Right.
It's Palpatine. He's been this
He's the
mealy
best.
mouthed guy. Yeah. Suddenly he takes out, you know, Kit Fisto in a second.
Yeah.
It had to be right. And so straight away I made a call on it. Went to George and said it's never going to happen. You know, we have to double him and we have to face replace him.
Who was the guy?
The double?
Yeah.
Michael Burns. Fantastic guy. The guy, my number one guy is a guy called Carl Rowling. Works for me all the time. Fight. Much better than me.
He did Dooku, right?
He did Dooku, he did a load of people. Grievous.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he did a load of people. Carl is a legend. Burnsy was a mate of his Kyle's got a sword fencing school,
Right.
stage combat in Australia. Burnsy was one of his students. He brought him in. He was about the right look, Palpatine. He didn't know that much. We trained him, but he was really good. You know, he got it again because he didn't know it.
Right.
He wasn't stuck on how position he should be in.
Right. Yeah.
And so he picked it up very quickly. Phenomenal, Burnsy. He's since become a poker player. So that was the situation we were in. He was never going to do it. It was always going to be a double on the day. Suddenly, George has forgotten all that.
What?
He's like, no, he's got to fight. And I'm like, he doesn't even know the fight. He's like, well, you're going to have to come up with something. This is in 10 minutes. So the boys go off and try. And we didn't have 10 minutes, you know. There's a million things to do in those 10 minutes. So Kyle and Burnsy took him off. The best we got was dig. I mean, I was beside myself that day. You know, I was thinking, this is fucking, it's all over. We ran it again, you know, with the double. Then, of course, again, right up until when I saw it.
What, did George have amnesia or something? He just forgot.
Just forgot. So yeah, so I thought, well, you can't win them all. There's going to be one really bad fight in there. When I went to see it, it didn't actually look that half bad. Our version was much better, I think.
Well, the one you posted, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was insane.
And there was no jumps in it. I'm not about jumps too much.
You mean the twirl thing?
Somersaulting.
Right, where he did, yeah. Well, you can pause it and see that they superimpose his face on there.
Can you?
Yeah.
As I said to you, I saw it was sad.
Yeah.
There. And we both looked at each other afterwards and went. But I felt most upset for Sam because he put the time in on that fight. I don't have any footage of it because I fought him. When we were rehearsing it, I played that.
Is he good with the sword?
Fantastic. I did Palpatine. Sam said it wasn't filmed. We just went off and did it quietly. Yeah. And we got a shape for him that was Sam Jackson. You know, he walks.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
I was going with that. He does that because his knees are shot from football.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that was what I used. He looked amazing. Yeah, and he learnt
He's
the whole...
tall too, isn't he?
He's tall. He learnt the whole thing and he looked great. Really tight he was with his turns. All he got to really do was that with Ian and then half of a fight with Burnsy. Originally, he didn't have a fight in there. He sent me an email, Sam, before we started shooting, that said, I have to do a fight. You've got to talk George into it. And he said, and if you don't, he said, I will strike down on thee with great vengeance and fury. You will know my name is Mace.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, he said Mace. Yeah. So I went to George and showed him that. And he said, oh, well, maybe he could do this fight. And, that's how it happened. That's all he wanted to do, Sam, was do that fight. Be a Jedi doing a fight.
Wow, what I wish I would have done better was Jango Fett's death.
Jango Fett was another one.
Which we talked about, I think, in Cali. Oh, well.
But I liked Jango Obi.